Hi, I'm Susan Evans from susanevans.org, and today we have a video for you called 5 Ways to Homeschool Without Stress. This is a collaboration that I am doing with other homeschooling YouTubers, and it is hosted by Ingrid from the Ingrid Chronicles. And go check out her channel. It is full of really fun and interesting videos that she's a very deep thinker, and she's taken a lot of psychology classes and stuff like that. So I always love how she talks. All right, now, what are 5 ways that you can homeschool without stress? Number 1, I would say to pray about what you were supposed to be doing in your homeschool specifically. Don't just pray overall over your homeschool, which you can do that if you're already mid-year or something, and you've chosen to do something and you just want God to bless what you've already decided without consulting Him. You can do that. But what I do every summer is I ask the Lord what He wants me to teach my kids. And so then He leads me sometimes to things that I would not have normally chosen. And so that way I am teaching what is needed rather than only what I want to cover. Some of these things can include character issues for each specific kid, things to focus on for prayer and for growing in that character quality, so that your homeschool is smoother and easier and less stressful because of better character in yourself and in your children. Also, one time when I was praying about what to teach my kids, Dave Ramsey's budgeting and how to handle money and finances came up, and so we did that. Also, we added that, and that was something which we did in the evenings, and it was really fun and provided a lot of conversation with my husband and I and our kids all together, and we watched videos and we laughed and we talked about it. And so it was a fun addition to our homeschool. And so if you ask the Lord what you should be doing and don't do anything except for what He wants you to do, and before taking on anything in addition, you cut back and only do what you need to be doing, especially if you're exhausted, then God will bless what it is that you're doing rather than you taking on way too much. So what I would do before taking on an extra thing is go before the Lord and ask the Lord whether you should be doing it, and then ask Him for peace about whether you should do it, and do not take it on unless you know for sure that you should be doing it. Okay, so that's one way to homeschool without stress, is to bring everything specifically to the Lord before your homeschool year, between school years. That's the best time to do it. You can reassess and you can ask the Lord just day by day, and that also works. So that's the first thing that I would do. Secondly, I would prioritize what has to be done, so that those things are done first, and then everything else is cream. So, for example, the math program often is the amount of days that you end up homeschooling is the amount of days that you have lessons for your kids. And so each lesson is a day basically of homeschooling. So to me, I don't like getting behind on that. And so if you're tired and you just do the math and then you can be done for the day, then you don't get behind, because all the other subjects you can easily collapse down and do a lot of science on one day or a lot of history on one day or whatever. You could easily catch up on other things. Whereas a lot of times math, because it's so dry and tedious to a lot of kids, doing 2 lessons in one day a lot of times is way too hard. So catching up isn't an option a lot of times, and it pushes it into the summer or whatever. So I would just keep on doing just math, or if you're spending time in scripture, or another thing that is really important to you to get done during the day, then we do that. For example, we had scripture on audio that we listened to every day. So no matter what, even if we were having a hard day or exhausted or sick or whatever, while we're eating breakfast, we can listen to some scripture and get that into them as part of their homeschool day. So if you build certain things in that have a high priority and you build those things in first, then you feel good about the day, even if the day ends at 10 o'clock in the morning or whatever. So prioritize and do the most important things that have to be done first. The third way to homeschool without stress is to have time during the day that is quiet. If you have babies and toddlers, you can put them down for naps. If not, they can do silent reading or quiet busy books or something quiet on their beds. Kids of all ages can be trained to be silent, like right after lunch. And so noise pollution fatigues a woman and fatigues everyone. And so it revives everyone if you can have some time during the day that is completely silent. And for you as a mom, especially if you have young kids, I recommend lying down for 20 minutes. Even if you do not sleep, it's you feel refreshed and you have a whole nother day. You feel energized just by lying down for those 20 minutes and doing nothing for 20 minutes. Okay? And I always did an hour and a half. So I laid down for 20 minutes and then I had more than an hour of refreshment and silence every day after I laid down. So, and then I had a cup of coffee or whatever, and you can use that time to spend time with the Lord, or spend time planning, or spend time doing something fun, refreshing, something artistic that makes you energized. Okay. Maybe even take a hot bath, or go outside for a few minutes where it's refreshing outside to view nature. Okay, number 4, in the ways to homeschool without stress, simplify other areas of your life, like meal planning. Simplify. So if other areas of your life are simplified and not so magnificent or taking so much time, choose like 10 or 20 different easy meals and do those, okay? Or you can make a meal, double it, and then either freeze it or swap the other meal with another homeschool family, and then you have a different meal. And you don't have to cook it a different night, okay? So that's a way to simplify. Simplify meal planning, simplify cleaning your house or whatever. You can simplify by doing something like we clean bathrooms every Friday, okay? It's simplified because you don't have to think about it ever, because you just always do it on that day. So if you put routines in place, this can also help to simplify your life. And when it's simplified, then it's less stressful. Okay, and last but not least, do more homeschooling outdoors to de-stress. There's something relaxing about the outdoors, and so the more you can do outside, the better. This is especially hard during the winter, but as soon as it turns spring, a lot of times I would homeschool outside on a blanket. I would read, especially if there was a lesson like in history where I was just going to read a passage, or in literature where I would read something to them and discuss it or talk about it. It was wonderful to do it in the sunshine where you get vitamin D on your head and fresh air. And the birds are chirping, and the kids pay a lot of more attention a lot of times because they feel refreshed, like it's something different. Okay, so these are 5 ways to homeschool without stress. If you are a homeschool YouTuber who wants to join in on our collaboration, you can do so. I'm listing the playlist below, and so go ahead and watch the other ones in the other videos in this playlist to get more ideas on how to homeschool without stress. I am Susan Evans from susanevans.org. Thanks for watching.